And we're back, guys. How's everyone doing? I'm your host, Good Energy. This is Tennis in a Minute, but this is the late night edition, Tennis After Dark. Let's get right into it, guys. Thanks for all the love and support. And look, like the video, drop a heart. Let me know who do you like in these matchups. So far this tournament, we are, 19 for 25. Not too bad, but let's look at this matchup here between Elena Rybakina taking on Yulia Putintseva. Two fellow country women. Now, Yulia owns a head to head. She plays very well against a taller opponent here. If you're not familiar with Yulia's game, she's very passionate, very emotional. She has good short balls. She's got good drop shots, good slices. She uses her athletic ability, but I think she's a really good player inside the baseline, taking on one of the best servers on tour. Elena struggled against Yulia. And again, I talked earlier, go watch the videos about that big sister, little sister mentality, where if you've beat someone just coming up, there's a level of confidence you have just knowing that when you play that person, you can just beat them. Not necessarily that you're better than them, but you can find ways to beat them and win. And that's what veterans do. That's what experienced players do. They find ways to win, while inexperienced players find ways to lose. But with that said, what Elena Rybakina did to Sarah Balek today was just downright brutal. I felt sorry for Balek watching that match. She was frustrated. She was frowning a lot. And just seeing how fast and athletic she is. And I say this all the time, when you're a good tennis player, a skilled, experienced tennis player, you can use someone's athletic ability against them. And Rybakina did that today. Sarah could not handle the firepower. I think this is going to be the first time Elena Rybakina gets on the board against Julia. I think Rybakina comes out and wins the first set, and I do like Rybakina to win the match. I think she's learned from the past. She made a lot of mistakes today against Sarah, though. She cannot give Julia 15 breakpoint opportunities. That was atrocious. Sarah might have done better if she just converted on those opportunities. But again, I say all the time, when Rebecca's in trouble, she goes to her serve. She is down consistently on serve 15-30, 30-40, but she knows when to pull out the aces. The only problem today, she had zero aces. She cannot beat Yulia Putintseva with zero aces, but I do think she wins the first set, and I think she finds a way to win the match, guys. Very important match here. Rebecca, if she wins this tournament, she has the opportunity to reach number 3 in the rankings. Next up, Iga Swiatek, Beatrice Haddad. Beatrice beat Iga previously in Canada when she won her first Master Championship. Now, Beatrice, I say it all the time. I think for the one of the taller players on tour, she plays phenomenal tennis inside the baseline, and that's where Iga Swiatek wants to camp out. This is going to be a hitting contest, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be amazing. Beatrice looked really solid today against a defensive powerhouse, Dasha, and oh no, I'm sorry, she didn't play Dasha. Who did Beatrice play today? She played Sakri, who Sakri looks good with their new coaching with David. That's a match I felt Sakri could have won. So I'm surprised Beatrice came through in that matchup. Well, not necessarily surprised, but she did play well. And today I like Iga Swiatek and Beatrice Haddad. I like this first set to go under 9.5 games. I do think Iga's going to come out a little too fast for Beatrice. She's going to get balls back, make Beatrice work towards the net. And I do see Iga having the opportunity to hit passing shots against a tall statue that's going to stay camped out inside the baseline. I think Iga's going to go down the line with her backhand. I showed you a few videos ago how Iga loves the attack down the line with that backhand, and she comes cross court well with it too. She's going to make Beatrice move on clay, and I like the first set to go under 9.5 games. Who's going to win this tournament? Stay tuned. We'll talk about that in a bit. Sabalenka taking on Marindreva. They played last year in Madrid. Now, can the birthday girl get her revenge? Now, we saw Mira burst on the scene. Now, I knew about her previously. I saw her play against Potapova, and again, she's been climbing the ranks. Last year in Madrid, we saw her take out Beatrice Haddad, Leylah Fernandez, and Magda Linette. Sabalenka cooled off her flame by sending her home. But listen, guys, Sabalenka today Watching that match, she's got a lot going on. I can tell even her last few tournaments, she's not herself. I can tell something's bothering her. I mean, we all have an idea of what is, but she seems out of it. She seems a bit. I don't want to say she's out of shape, but her form is not at her best. She's dropped her levels since the tragedy, and I feel for her. I do feel sad for her. I feel sorry for her. I mean, not in that sense, just her grieving her loss. I do feel that she knows her. I think she knows the writing's on the wall. Coco Gauff's going to be number two, ladies and gentlemen, and it's probably going to be after this match. That's right. If Corey Coco Gauff, actually, Corey doesn't have to do anything. If Arena Sabalenka does not defend her title here, Corey Coco Gauff will become number two in the world. Coco does not have to do anything. And that's the importance of winning matches, ladies and gentlemen. The ATP, the WTA, they use a ranking system. All sports, they use a ranking system. If you want to be high in the ranks, you have to win matches. You have to win games. Coco won games. She won matches. She won championships. Okay? So therefore, if Sabalenka doesn't win this tournament and defend her title, Coco's going to be number two in the world, and it's inevitable. It's going to happen, and it's probably going to happen today. I think Sabalenka knows. Mira Andreeva is going to come out. I like Mira to cover the 6.5, and I like Mira Andreeva to win a set. And I do think Mira Andreeva is going to beat Arena Sabalenka today, guys. Mira's been playing very good tennis. She looks solid. She surprised me. I'll be honest. She surprised me. Now, Sabalenka has the power to just disrupt anything the young teenager has to throw at her. But the problem is Sabalenka, she looks exhausted. She looks mentally fatigued. She looks physically fatigued. She looks out of it. And I think she knows her time is limited. Those are the pick, guys. Next up, Maddie Patty taking on Ons Jabeur, the best shot maker in the world. Now, listen, guys. Ons has had success against Madison Keys. And this is the type of match where, coming off of that huge win over Elena Ostapenko, Ons has her camp pumped up. And that's what Ons needs, because look, around mid last year, I'll say, or even early last year to mid last year now, I was concerned with Ons. I gave the future. I didn't do many futures this year. Actually, I did the future with, who did I do? I did one future. I'll recall it next video. I got to go back to the drawing board. I gave one future last year. Who would have the most points after the French Open, Ons or Sakri? Now remember, Sakri had an amazing run the first half of the season. Ons was injured. She had the knee injury, the back injury, the ankle, and it looked like Sakri had that wager won. It was a future I gave out, right? I told you guys, Ons will have more points than Sakri at the end of the French Open. What happened? She came on strong at Stuttgart. She won Charleston after the injury. She missed the African leg of the tour. Then she won Charleston. Then she got injured in Germany, right, at the semifinal. But she picked up points there as Sakri was bounced out of the first round in those last two tournaments. And what happened at the French Open? Sakri bounced out in the first round again. Ons goes deep, wins that future. Ons concerned me with the injuries, and earlier this year she didn't have her form. I started to get a bit concerned because she is getting older. It looked like her athletic ability started to slow down. Her body's getting banged up, but she looks good, and her camp has a right to cheer. I think Elena Ostapenko showed no sportsmanship, or like I call it, sportswomanship. I think Ons and her team has the right to cheer, just like Elena Ostapenko. When she gets upset, she yells and screams. She yells at her camp. When she wins points, she yells and screams. I've done so many videos on Elena. I know her game. I know her tactics. I know her antics. I know what she does. On's camp, they have a right to cheer. Okay, when it becomes a rule that your camp can't cheer, then we'll go there. But other than that, they did nothing wrong. They didn't break any rules. And Elena Ostapenko she's just a poor sportswoman. Okay, her integrity for the fans, for the opponents. I mean, I've seen matches and called matches where she's just challenging calls on purpose just to upset the chair umpire and her opponent, right? Just to catch her breath. Is she must see TV? Is she must see TV? She is, but she's just she just has to grow up. Just put it that way. And I think Isla Tomjanovic said it best when they had that blow up at Wimbledon. Look, you're a slam champion. You should be ashamed of yourself. Okay, like we're at the point, and we've been at that point where Elena Rybakina and Coco are by far the two classiest players on tour, without a doubt. And Madison Keys is in there as well. You never hear these players complain. If they do complain or ask for a physio or get upset, it's warranted. It's right. They have an actual argument to be made. Okay, Coco is by far, Elena Rybakina by far the two classiest players on tour, and Madison's in that category, and Ons is in that category as well. You know, Elena Ostapenko should be ashamed of herself. But back to the match. That's my little rant there. All right, this is going to be a good matchup. Ons has the ability to stretch the court. I'm very familiar with Madison Keys' game. I told you it'd be a tough match for Coco and Madison Keys. I knew Madison Keys would beat Coco. This matchup here is going to be tough for Madison Keys because Ons stretches the court. You get Madison Keys in that no man's land in the wrong spot, she's going to make mistakes. She's going to hit long. You get her, which is why I'm surprised Coco didn't use more drop shots. You get Madison Keys in no man's land mid court, she makes a ton of mistakes. Her serves are going to have to bail her out in this one. I'm going to take the first set to go under 9.5 games. That's the pick, guys. Enjoy. And we have a bonus pick. Big game AP. Alycia Parks taking on Katerina Siniakova. This is going to be a good match. I'm very familiar with both these ladies' games. I remember a time where Siniakova, these lower 250s, 125s, she was the number one, number two seed. This is a 125K in Spain. This is clay. And Katerina is the number two seed here. Alycia Parks, she's hit a bit of a rough patch. She's got a new coach. She's working with Osaka's former coach, Yastremska's former coach, who is a Grand Slam winner. That's right. He helped coach Osaka to the U.S. Open and Australian Open title. I saw them practicing together. She's going to be good. Okay, she's going to be fine. Okay, don't worry about Alycia Parks. Her skills aren't going anywhere. Every player has their periods where they drop. And this is the difference maker between AP being in the top 50 or not. Her championship that she won in France last year, she did not get the opportunity to defend that title. Okay, so the way the schedule was made, she didn't have the opportunity to go there to defend her 250 points. She then had to go to what tournament was that? Oh, having a brain freeze. Whatever tournament she had to go through and qualify, and just that change of scheduling drops her from the top 50 to outside of the top 100. So it's just a bad schedule, right? So that it happens, I guess. It's horrible, but again, if she has the opportunity to defend her title, she's still in the top 50. It's as simple as that. So this is a big match for Alycia Parks, and we're going to take the first set over 8.5 games. Alycia Parks is going to come out with that serve. She's been working in the forehand. Siniakova's got to keep her cool. Okay, she wants the baseline. I think she's going to play right into Alycia Park's hands here, and I think it's going to be a good competitive match. Katerina is the more experienced player. We know that she got several championships on the singles side of things, several slams on the double side of things. She's a good two-way player, but Alycia Park's is going to show her athletic ability here. She's going to serve well, and I think she's going to hold. So we'll take the first set over 8.5 games. Those are all the picks, guys. Enjoy. Back to Madrid. Who do I think is going to win it? I do not think Sabalenka is going to win it. So therefore, Coco is going to be number two in the world. Players that have a chance to win this tournament, you really need to watch out for Elena Rybakina. She is really coming on. I think she has a point to prove. Iga Swiatek always in competition to win it. But it's going to be one of those two and the winner of this match here. Those are the players to watch out for. Ons, Keys, Rybakina, Iga. Those are your players you want to watch out. And if I had to lean, I'm kind of leaning for Rybakina to do something all over again. She looks really good. I didn't like the 15 break points that she gave to Sarah Balick today. But I do think Elena Rybakina has the tools to beat anyone except Madison Keys. I do think Madison Keys will beat Elena Rybakina if she faces her. Yes, I do. Keys, I gave you a couple locks where Madison Keys faced Elena Rybakina in the past already. Madison Keys is the only person in this draw remaining that I think will beat Elena Rybakina. Tennis in a minute. Enjoy the picks, guys. Show some love, like the video. We'll be right back.